have some very interesting tournament data here for you for Post Infinite Forbidden. You guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Now, I want to point out here before we get into this data that we did not know at the time of this event over the weekend that Underworld Goddess, the mini closed sky, the Link 2, would be in this set. So you're going to be looking at this data as a baseline to see how you want to construct and do things. And I mean, Fiendsmith was a very apparent engine here. It did its thing. And, you know, you'll get a chance to see how those decks adapted with those packages. So your top 16, you had 6 Snake Eyes. That's a little bit less than I expected to see in your overall conversion rate, but still, the deck is here. It is still sitting in the meta. That has not changed. All right, we had 3 Yubel decks, and all 3 of these Yubel decks all had amazing records. They were above the mark for what you would expect. We also only had 2 Tenpai Dragon decks. That's actually kind of crazy to think about, too, because just watching that deck have not necessarily a good time this event was kind of interesting. We also had 1 Branded, 1 Unchained. We had Sprite, Tier, and even Rescue Ace in your top 16 for this event. So, I mean, that's looking a lot better than what you would want to expect here. Now, your top 8 here, we had 3 Snake Eyes. Okay, so maybe things are starting to fall apart now once you're kind of getting into the top end of things. You also had 3 Yubel, so all 3 of those Yubels had that crazy conversion rate on into that top cut is nuts. We also had 1 Branded player who actually ended up winning the whole event, because once a good gimmick puppet player is kind of scratching around out here, things kind of go sideways. And we also had 1 Tenpai player locking their way into the top cut here. Am I surprised by this data? No, you shouldn't be either. But I'm curious to see how things will start to shape up as we find out more. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. Winning our event here is our Gimmick Puppet deck, not playing Triple Fusion Duplication, which is actually kind of crazy because so many people have been hyped up on that. We're playing 50 cards, so more of a board breaker style of deck, relying on things like this. Ratios for everything up here I think looks good. We are side decking the brightest blazing Brand King, and of course you have Book of Eclipses in here as well to kind of help you out with more defensive options. But I think everything here is as you expect it to actually be looking at a branded deck. Congratulations on winning the event here. Now, our second place list. Hey look, it's Fiendsmith in our pile. The amount of times I saw this Tractus or Fiendsmith get into full combo was actually crazy. I also got to watch this duelist kind of like reverse engineer a combo where, you know, dropping down the Snake Eyes and then going into the Promethean Princess and kind of reclimbing back up to restart combo. It was actually pretty interesting to see. Deck actually has some pretty crazy play lines. So that's your second place. All right, top 4. We have Yubel. Hey, look at this. The Fiendsmith stuff. Yeah, this actual package was amazing to see in this deck. This helps out so much on the consistency side of things, like it's nuts. Also, you know, Lurie basically being full reverse combo, get into that Beatrice or that Wave King Kaiser, depending on which piece of the puzzle that you need to get things going, and you will be steamrolling all day long. Also, Pinkertops is here. Was very refreshing to see as an actual combo piece along the way. Good stuff. We also had, oh, hey look, more Yubel here. This build was doing double Tractus, which I think is good. It really just depended on how you wanted to shape things up. I also did see the Marchummies down here, and shout out to this Angel of Blue Tears. You're going to be seeing a lot of this card, I feel like, going forward, because this card, it just helps you out in such a good situation. All right, do not underestimate this card. Also, Different Dimension Ground? That's a little bit cute of a tech choice. I like to see that. Okay. Next up here, we had basic Snake Eyes. Nothing wrong with, you know, sticking to like old reliable out here. You know, the Cash Tier cards are still going to be hard carries for this deck. We have seen how consistent that these cards can be. We did get a chance to see Marchummy being cited down here, so it does look like people in the TCG are going to be playing this card, or at least testing this card out to get those maximum results. And once again, I mean, this card's, you know, how it's going to shape up via formats will depend on, once again, how the format goes. Ooh, more Snake Eyes. Hello, triple copies of DD Crow in the main deck. Alright, we've also got Marchummies down here in the side deck. You do see we are bringing those skill drains to the party as well. It's actually the first skill drains that I've seen, and we're all the way back in top 8 now. So a little bit of a fall off on skill drain for this event. Still doing the Kashtira stuff. I mean, why not, right? Like these cards are actually just insane. Also, hey, maybe they'll get you some little free value. Who really knows? All right, our Tenpai Dragon main out here, playing 2 copies of the Dora Drago, 2 copies of the Genroku, and we're actually maining 1 copy of the Sengen Kaiho. You can love and hate this card all you want. I think it is cute for what it is. Really just depends on how you think your matchups are going to go, and do you feel like having the turn skip built into the main deck is worth it. Some people will opt to side this. Nothing wrong with that. It all just comes down to personal deck building. All right, and our last top 8 here is actually kind of interesting, and it's a Morphine Smith for you. You do see more Chummies down here in the side deck, maximizing on the Phantoms as they should be. I think everything here is fine, though this is kind of wild. They maximized on the triple copies of the Different Dimension Ground. I guess Different Dimension Ground is just going to be the absolute tits out here, you know, for deck choices. Okay. Next up, going into top 16 here, we do have an Unchained Duelist sporting off full Fiendsmith combo built into the deck. This is actually kind of cool to see. I'm happy to just take note that Unchained is able to kind of sit back here and do something. You have full board breakers in here as well. You also have Yield Thrust with the triple talents as well. We're getting into some cool little side deck tricks here with the Majesty's Fiends and the Mistaken Arrest as well. And of course, the little Black Goat Laughs. Okay. All right. We have more. Oh, man, Snake Eyes free here. Once again, this is what I was talking about, old reliable, but where's our Kashtira cards? There's no Kashtira cards in here. They just chose to play, you know, a good chunk of hand traps, you know, the cards to stop those hand traps, the ability to kind of navigate underneath. You do have the Molchummies in here, and of course, we're actually doing 2 Vidos, in case, you know, you run into the Gimmick Puppet, OTK, or FTK, that is just meant to kind of ruin your day. But hey, once again, consistent results. Next up here, we have, a Fiendsmith with maximizing Tractus here. Alright, well, this duelist just full pedal gas to the metal this deck and opted to play as much good stuff as I kind of feel like they could put in here. I guess nothing wrong with that, because I mean, having these skill drains here are good. We are side decking the Fucho, and you do see the Angel Blue Tears here on the follow-up here. And oh boy, the Featherstorm. Well, you know, you do see it when you're bringing in the Fucho, I guess. All right, so we have the Sprite pile that everybody kind of rambled on about from South America, where you're doing the Mirror Mage here, and then you're getting the chains up and running here, just so you can kind of do your thing. I will say that in terms of deck build, it's actually kind of interesting to see, you know, we're actually playing the little plump down here. I have not seen anybody considering this. It's just mainly, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Our tier pile. They're doing full Fiendsmith combo in here. Yes. Who doesn't want to play Fiendsmith cards? It's just free deck thinning on into this. Get you some extra deck resources. Kind of do your thing. You got some skill drains down here. Yeah, it's just a good old cakewalk down here, alright? You gotta love these little tech choices. Kind of just helping you out. Also, the Black Goat Laughs being a mill target for this deck. Actually back on King of the Swamp for the discard search. It's actually kind of interesting to see. Okay. Yes, here we are, back to old reliable, yet again. You have the Fenrirs in here, you have the 2 Unicorns, all basic stuff, nothing wrong with this. There's your Molchummies coming on in to save the day. And of course, hey look, more skill drains. Yes, the flip this card and then eat it with a Snake Eyes card, because you send is cost. Isn't that just really fun? That's why we love this game. Yeah, looking at this, there's nothing else too particular in here. So many Snake Eyes variations. It's crazy. You look at Rescue Ace deck. Now, this was kind of cool because he was actually playing the 5 splash package here for the Yubel stuff, just to be able to drop these on the field. And, of course, actually playing Yubel the Loving Defender forever, so you can actually vacuum up in the Yubel matchup just to kind of punish your opponent. That's frickin' hilarious. This has turned into a super poly target now, instead of actual Yubel players choosing to play it. How the tables have turned. And we have more Tempai for you here. This build playing triple Pogi Drago, actually main decking the triple Marchummy here as well. And they're only main decking one Genroku. I don't like this. I feel like they cut down this engine just a little bit too much. Also dedicating the slots to these. And another duelist out here playing the Sengen Kaiho in the main deck. A lot of people chose to explore this for this event, which is kind of interesting to say the least. So that is your breakdown for this Kong's Cards event. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.